everyone, my name is Cyrus and welcome back to my channel. Over the years, I've had a rather unhealthy relationship with fitness. I've always liked being fit. I've always loved playing sports, and I love the way my body feels when I'm in good shape or right after I've just, played a sport or done a really good workout. But the actual act of staying in good shape is really hard to do. And I've just had, like I said, a very love-hate relationship with fitness over the years. Parts of it are really good, but then I have some really unhealthy habits as well. But recently, over the past year or so, I've kind of discovered or developed a system that has been working for me. And I wanted to share it with all of you because maybe it'll help you out too. Like I said, I have had a pretty rough relationship with how I view my own fitness. And this has really helped me quite a bit with that. But before I jump into this new system that I've been using, I want to talk a little bit about what I mean when I say that I've had a rough go with things in terms of the way I view my own personal fitness. Historically, I've basically kind of done the bare minimum for a while, and then at some point I start feeling just not good in my own body, and then I'm like, okay, I want to get into really good shape. And so as a result, I will come up with some kind of plan and then proceed to work out like a crazy person for 2 weeks. And inevitably just absolutely burn myself out. And I'll just feel so horrible after that, and will basically proceed to do nothing fitness related for a number of months again until the cycle kind of repeated itself. And that was pretty much what was happening for years and years. It was bare minimum and then falling into these patterns of going really, really hard for a very short period of time and then burning myself out and then stopping and doing nothing or very, very little for a long time. And then on top of that, I kind of handicap myself also, because when I would get this feeling of, I'm not feeling great with myself, I want to be working out more or getting in better shape, I would handicap myself in that I wouldn't allow myself to start doing that until I came up with the best possible plan I could for myself. And you need to be super detailed what I was going to do on each day in order to try and get myself to this, this place that I'd imagined where I will feel good about myself and I'll feel strong and healthy. But sometimes it would take me months to even develop this plan that I was going to follow and change my habits and all that kind of stuff. And then I'd eventually develop this plan, and like I said, I work on it or whatever until I would burn out after a couple weeks, and thus the cycle would continue. And like I said, I've been doing that for a long time. So suffice to say that that was not very healthy and a very good way to be going about things. And I just really knew that regardless of what I did, it would have to be different, that I had to change something. And it was just not a sustainable way to be continuing with my views of myself and of my fitness goals. I've always found it difficult to keep up intrinsic motivation when it comes to working out and staying fit. So I've always tried to find external factors that push me to keep going with something or keep a goal up. I signed up for a marathon a couple of years ago to force me to run more often and on a stricter schedule. I joined karate, and that has been a huge help to give me that intrinsic or give me that external push to want to work out more and stay in better shape in order to continue to do well at that. But maintaining that intrinsic motivation has been really tough for me over the years. You know, I find myself not wanting to spend a little bit of free time that I have working out. Whether it's I'm tired, whether it's I just want to be doing something else with my time. I know I'm not the only person that feels this way, for sure. Working out is not always on the top of people's lists. But I basically was continuing to try to find a way that I could feel accomplished while also not putting myself in the same position that I had been putting myself historically, where I was running myself out. Because I would be putting myself in the situation where if I wasn't burning myself out, if I wasn't following this very specific plan that was kind of just insane, then I would really be beating myself up and be feeling like, what am I even doing? And so I was really wanting to find a way to feel accomplished while continuing to keep up some kind of fitness routine. And that's basically where this new workout plan comes into things. I've been doing this for about a year, maybe a year and a half now. And it's really helped me to do, I think, a lot more than I would have done if I was not following this new system that I've made for myself. Basically, I've tried to boil it down to what are some things that I really want to try and make sure I'm doing a bit more of. I want to try and make sure that I'm working out 3 to 4 times a week. I want to make sure that I'm stretching 4 to 5 times a week. I want to make sure that I'm doing a bit of cardio 2 to 3 times a week. And I basically made a checklist of that and put that into my journal. And as the week goes by, if I've done something, I check it off. But along with that, I've tried to make things a lot more lenient for myself and not be as strict with how I go about categorizing things. In the past, I've been very much like I need to do, this amount of upper body workouts and this amount of lower body workouts. I need to run this amount of kilometers. And it's been very specific to the point where if I don't do those things, then again, I feel like a failure, like I've not done what I set out to do. With this new system, I've tried to make things a lot more flexible for myself and just be a lot more understanding with myself. So, if I go out and I shovel the driveway and that takes me an hour to do, I'm counting that as a workout for myself, one of the workouts for the week. If I manage to find 5, 10, 15 minutes to stretch during my lunch break, then I'm counting that and I'm checking that off. And so I'm just trying to be a lot more lenient with myself in terms of how I'm going about getting the actual fitness into my life. Because otherwise, in the past, I've been much more strict and as a result, just like continuously beating myself up and just not setting myself up for success. And so this added flexibility for me has been really helpful and really beneficial. overall, my relationship with fitness has changed a lot over my life, and I have no doubt that it will continue to change as my life goes on. But what I do know is that right now, it's definitely the best that it's ever been by far. And so I just want to kind of keep that going. But if you found yourself in, a toxic loop when it comes to your fitness or your working out and your routines, then maybe this can help you. Find 2 to 3 things that are your top priorities and figure out ways that you can flexibly fit those into your life. It doesn't always have to be an hour workout at the gym or a 10-kilometer run. It can sometimes just be doing some push-ups while you wait for your coffee to boil, or jogging to the bus. I just really think that doing some kind of physical activity is way better than doing none. And so if you were like me and you were finding yourself in this kind of loop of not doing anything because what you can find the time to do isn't what you're supposed to be doing, try and break that loop and be flexible with yourself and find some time here and there throughout the day to add some movement into your life, and try not to be so hard on yourself. Really, I'm saying this as much as I am to myself as I am to you. So I really hope that this has helped anybody. I just thought that I would share it because it's something that I've been kind of playing with for a long time now and that I've struggled with for a long time. And so this can help even one person out, then I'm happy about that. But I would love to hear your thoughts about maybe the system or in general kind of what your fitness routines have been and your relationship with fitness and working out, what that's been for you throughout your life. I'd love to have a conversation about it in the comments down below. And until next time.